Dire team pick.
Yeah,
That's a shocker.
That, you know what? I think that's a big part of these win rates is teams trying to copy the teams that are better than them and saying like, well, look, geez, if it can work for Ruby, it can work for us. Well, not necessarily.
Hey!
Oh my lord!
Speak of the devil.
We could also see an SF pick to copy up with, to follow up with that.
Yep.
Does obviously you can farm the cogs early on to get a few Necromastery dudes in.
So I think it's really hard to have a Clockwork to fight into a Tide Hunter, because just because you hook in, they can always counter-initiate with Ravage. But vice versa, when you have them both together, you just create so much chaos. It kind of compounds it. The two of them makes it better than the sum of their part, or whatever that phrase is.
The sum of the whole is better than the sum of the parts.
Yeah,
something like that. There's the SF. So they're like, it's a block pick, but I also think it's just a good hero. You know what I will say is the Clockwork, it's not great because Disruptor can kind of glimpse him away again if he hooks in, which is kind of annoying.
You can, like, if you're tiny, you can toss the Clockwork out of his cogs as well.
Yeah,
but you're still in the cog though.
Yeah,
but you're at least you no longer have to deal with
if SF needs a couple of souls, free souls.
There you go, free souls.
You want the cogs.
The Clockwork's actually a pretty good hero against Shadow Fiend, at least in the laning phase. Once you get the wrap around him, Shadow Fiend's gonna have a lot of issue.
What's a Kinguin pick here to go with? Roaming Clock, SS, combo. It needs a hero, I think a carried, like a ranged carry maybe, to be able to zone out whatever the offlane is going to be for Empire, presumably Tiny.
Radiant team pick.
Viper, okay. Viper. Cap delighted with that pick.
Exciting hero.
I hate Viper.
10 seconds
I absolutely hate Viper.
This used to be like a winnable matchup for Shadow, but over the years players have gotten much better. I do believe though with the weaker nerf Shadow Fiend, the Necromastery, and with the Clockwork rotation, this should be a pretty easy Viper lane.
We'll see, my friend.
Yeah. The mid game, I was gonna say the corrosive haze or corrosive goo thing that he plops out. It's gonna be pretty nice with the Clockwork cogs.
Yeah, that's true. So, if he breaks the SF, right?
Yep.
Your passives are removed.
Okay.
Does that mean that while he's standing in the goop, he doesn't get his souls?
I don't.
Does
think
it just affect presence?
It affects the presence, guaranteed. I don't think he loses damage. Like he might not be able to, let's say, acquire more damage.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird with different passives. That one I'm not 100% sure on.
Lumi, where do you think that Tiny is gonna lane? Is he gonna be, because we've seen the Tiny on the offlane as well, is he gonna be safe lane or offlane, you think?
I think right now he could do both. I don't think they want to have him in the Tide's lane though, because I think that's a little bit rough for him. And Rubik is actually a beautiful pick here because it does a couple of things. First, you have some nice ultimates to steal from Tide, Shadow Shaman, and Viper. But secondly, if you get Corrosive Haze, or the goo plop thing from Viper, you break Viper, thus by removing his passive. So
also, like, Shackles is one of the easiest spells to gain to steal. Wards is pretty easy to steal.
Yeah.
But Ravage potentially, although it is tricky.
There's no bad spells to steal from Shadow Shaman, you're absolutely right.
Radiant team.
Even Ether Shock is useful.
Yeah.
Doom is the last ban there. That basically says that Kinguin is thinking Empire is looking for a solo laner, be that solo safe lane, solo off lane.
I mean, I think the Tiny pick is nice first because you can bump him into the off lane if you need to. And
10 seconds remaining.
I wonder how like a Tiny Disruptor lane or a Tiny Rubik lane
5 seconds.
lift them to Tiny. He tosses them back under the tower. If they try to run away, you glimpse them back. You could go aggro try with the Tiny Disruptor Rubik.
Hey, by the way,
something 1v1 against the Tide.
Rubik
Razor ban is kind of an issue. Sorry.
Sorry. Rubik has a 100% win rate.
He's a great hero, man. I mean, I know my friend Cynical Soapbox hates him, but he calls him Losebick. But I'm telling you, he's a good hero.
It's the win pick at the moment.
Definitely a very hard hero to play in lower skill games. A great one when the player knows what's up. as we saw from Zefric.
Oh man, I said to him in the break room, I said, "Oh mate, some fantastic plays," and he went, "Thanks." Like he was like, "Your praise means nothing to me, mortal."
No, he is very modest.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like, you know, I don't believe the praise. It's like I was just playing a game. Anybody could have done it type of attitude.
The humble brag. Actually, that's not a humble brag. That's just humble.
That's just being humble.
Just super humble. Just super
This is
humble.
the old humble non-brag.
Yep. Right, one more brand from Empire. It will be Kinguin that has the last pick in this one.
Radiant team pick.
Basis Void.
No.
Because what Kinguin really needs right now is another hero that could power in the damage. Tide doesn't do that much. Shadow Shaman, Clockwork, these are more control-oriented hero. Viper could do a decent amount, but only if he's farmed.
It
So
takes a while.
right, we needed a last pick that was gonna right-click pretty hard.
Especially when you look at the burst damage that SF Tiny
5
has.
seconds
That's a lot.
remaining.
Yeah.
How greedy can Kinguin be
What do you mean?
with their last core pick?
I don't think
So it is a core Tiny. It's a Posi 1 Tiny.
they need hero that could hit right now.
Yeah, they need some hitting.
Right. Juggernaut.
Choose your hero.
That's good. Can spin and remove the sticky, right?
Yeah.
All right. Lumi, you're up first. What is the most important thing for Empire this game? What do they need to do
For Team Empire.
for Empire?
Yeah, make sure they. This is gonna apply for both. Make sure that the mid lanes won. I think for both teams. I feel like the
Okay.
mid lane's gonna determine a lot of the damage output, a lot of the item progression for both of the teams. Shadow Fiend and Viper needs to have a great game.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that, Ted?
And tier 2 teams, they have to climb over many of their other comrades. Here we're going to see Kinguin facing up against Empire. I would say two teams that are very solidified in that tier 2 area. Empire is considered probably the third best CIS team behind VP as well as Na'Vi. And then you've got